This is CBS.
Coming up on Channel 2 News, new warnings after another mugging on wheels. A third woman falls victim as police search for any links. And danger from above. A military plane slams down on a neighborhood, the pilot risking his life to save others.
Also coming up tonight, an FBI sting, a suspected scheme to buy heat-seeking missiles. And subway gunman Bernard Goetz faces a judge, this time with one big difference. Plus, mission accomplished, a rendezvous in space for the shuttle Columbia. Mr. G's got the big chill, plus the devil's action, all coming up next at 11.
Close your eyes and listen to your heart. A gentle breeze is blowing, your peace of mind is growing. Close your eyes and realize the paradise is calling you. Listen to your heart, it's calling out. Acapulco Princess.
Who's #1 in New York? You tell us. Is it the Big Mac or the McChicken sandwich?
Big Mac. McChicken. Big Mac. McChicken.
Hey, let's vote on it.
Okay, New York, you decide. Buy a delicious Big Mac or a juicy McChicken sandwich for only 99 cents. What you buy counts as your vote, but you must vote by January 14th.
Big Mac.
McChicken.
Big Mac. Chicken.
Buy a Big Mac or McChicken sandwich for only 99 cents and cast your vote by January 14th. And vote as often as you like.
So, we lost them. Another bank solved their trade finance problem in a week.
Whoa. We've been at it 6 months.
What we need is new blood. Specialists with more imaginative views on the import-export market. Creative problem solvers. Where are today's creative problem solvers?
Who was the other bank?
NatWest, raising the standards of banking. Sunday edition with Jim Jensen and Ed Koch. Sunday morning at 8.
Now, Ernie Anastos, Michelle Marsh, Warner Wolf with sports, and Mr. G with weather. The first team. This is Channel 2 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Marsh.
And I'm Ernie Anastos. Here's what's happening on this Friday night. Whether it is by coincidence or by design, there is word tonight of yet another drive-by mugging. It is the third this week. And now police are urging even the most streetwise New Yorkers to heed a warning. As Channel 2's John Slattery reports, the victims were all women, among them one in Queens.
This purse snatch and mugging coming to light just tonight actually took place on Monday outside this Forest Hills apartment building. A woman in her 40s mugged and slightly stabbed. 48-year-old Molly Doran, who tonight is unavailable to go on camera, told us on the telephone that while she was here in front of her building wearing a purse with a shoulder strap, a van drove by. A white male wielding a knife reached out from the van and tried to cut the bag loose. He succeeded and got the purse and cut her in the hand in the process. This woman, who lives in the same building, says she's heard of 4 similar purse snatches nearby in the past 2 weeks.
I don't know how many were cars and how many were vans, but they throw you down, and they run back into the car or van, whatever it is, and they take off.
In addition to the van attack in Queens, just this week there's been one in Manhattan and one in Brooklyn, yet police say they're not related. In Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, 74-year-old Marie Palillo was walking with her sister when a black van with 2 men inside suddenly drove up onto the sidewalk.
They slid open the side door in the van. They grabbed hold of my mother, her arm, and her pocketbook. It was a shoulder bag. And they started pulling her. They punched her in the face. And they still were grappling and grabbing her. And the guy took out a knife and went to stab her in the side. And luckily, he just got her coat.
The woman suffered a fractured hip, a broken nose, and a punctured lung. In Manhattan, just 4 hours earlier on Wednesday, 60-year-old Kim Stapleton, who lived on 92nd and Park, was dragged under a van and killed by 2 men trying to steal her shoulder bag. Police are advising women to take precautions.
What we recommend is you take this away. You wrap the strap around your bag, and you carry it like a football.
Tonight, some women are taking more precaution than that.
I left my handbag home because I'm afraid to carry it. If I do, I try to wear it underneath my coat.
With the warnings out to women, you have to wonder if this crime will become the new craze, like the chain snatchings of a few years ago. So far, 1 woman dead, 2 women injured that we know of. In Queens, John Slattery, Channel 2 News.
A story of international intrigue tonight from West Palm Beach, Florida, where 4 suspected members of the Irish Republican Army are under arrest. They are accused of trying to buy weapons and explosives, including a sophisticated Stinger missile. They allegedly paid undercover agents $50,000, who in turn stung them. All 4 suspects deny being members of the IRA. If convicted, each faces a maximum of 25 years in prison and $750,000 in fines. Tonight, there are clues but still no clear answers about what caused a U.S. military plane to crash into a Pennsylvania neighborhood. Despite the devastation, the pilot is being called a hero tonight. Channel 2's Randall Pinkston has the latest on the accident that shook up an entire town.
Tonight in Upper Moreland Township, Pennsylvania, naval security personnel are standing watch over the crash site where an attack jet slammed into a densely populated neighborhood. The pilot, Marine Captain Dwayne Pansdorf, parachuted to safety, receiving only superficial injuries, and no one was hurt on the ground.
Praise the Lord for that.
I think it's a miracle.
It was an A-4 Skyhawk like this one on maneuvers at the Willow Grove Naval Air Station, about 30 miles from Philadelphia. It went down a mile short of the runway. No official word yet on exactly why the jet crashed.
A possible fuel leak was apparently discovered.
He started to lose power. He went up in the air, and then his engine just exploded, and then we saw him hit the ground, and we saw the mushroom cloud come up.
The accident revived memories in this area of another crash involving a military jet more than a decade ago.
My mom and dad scooped us out and rushed us over to, it was called Bazaar of All Nations at the time. Now it's an office center.
So you were a little girl when the last crash?
Yes, and we went up, the pilot was killed in that particular incident.
Is the airfield something that you worry about, or you don't because it was here before you moved in?
Well, we do worry, but it's just one of those facts of life.
Ann Williams has been living in the neighborhood for 30 years. She credits the Navy with trying to reduce the possibility of civilian injuries in the case of accidents.
They're trying to enlarge their clear zone so that the civilian population will be safer, because most of the crashes occur, either on takeoff or landing.
An insurance adjuster tells me he believes residents of 5 of the damaged homes will have to move out until repairs are completed. Meanwhile, Navy personnel will be on guard to protect the property and also to watch over the debris, while investigators try to find out exactly what caused that A-4 Skyhawk to crash. In Upper Moreland Township, Pennsylvania, Randall Pinkston, Channel 2 News.
Also tonight, a Long Island woman is winning her life or death struggle after a car accident left her in a coma. As we first reported last night, 32-year-old Nancy Klein has come out of her coma and is reportedly making steady progress at the Johnson Rehabilitation Institute in Edison, New Jersey. Now, 11 months ago, she had an abortion in a desperate attempt to improve her chances of recovering. Her husband had to fight anti-abortion groups all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court to order the abortion. Her doctors say the abortion made a difference.
We would have not been able to be as aggressive with her without the abortion.
Aggressive meaning as far as what, medications?
Medications, therapies, nutrition, the whole gamut.
Her doctors say that Mrs. Klein is making such good progress, she may be able to go home in a few months.
Tonight, Exxon agreed to help the wildlife recover from a huge oil spill between Staten Island and New Jersey. 567,000 gallons of heating oil leaked from an underwater pipe at Exxon's Linden refinery last week. The spill stretched the entire 13-mile length of the Arthur Kill. After Exxon agreed to pay for a study to assess the damage and pay for the cleanup, New York Attorney General Robert Abrams agreed not to sue.
We have, however, not lifted from the table the threat of a lawsuit if Exxon does not totally live up to the commitment that it has made.
Exxon has not responded to New Jersey's lawsuit to recover damages. In addition, the Environmental Protection Agency is demanding an explanation of just how this spill occurred. Corporate America watched with breath held as Wall Street took a sharp plunge today, the worst in 3 months. The Dow Jones average fell throughout the day because of a double dose of bad economic news. Wholesale prices are up, retail sales are down after a poor Christmas season. It all added up to a loss of more than 71 points, the market closing just over 2689.
And a major American triumph in space today. It is mission accomplished for the Space Shuttle Columbia. NASA's used to launching satellites. They seldom have to go out and catch one.
Go ahead, Columbia.
It was an incredible 3-day million-mile chase through space. It ended with an equally incredible rescue. Astronaut Bonnie Dunbar extending the long robot arm of the Space Shuttle Columbia to capture the space program's most famous stray, the dying satellite known as LDEF.
We have LDEF. Congratulations on a job well done.
LDEF, or the Long Duration Exposure Facility, was headed for a fiery death in the Earth's atmosphere. It was launched in 1984 on what was supposed to be only a 10-month flight. The Challenger disaster forced a change in plans.
This is a spacecraft that in 32,400 some orbits of the Earth has traveled the distance between Earth and Saturn.
A photo survey shows LDEF has been sandblasted by meteoroids, zapped by cosmic rays, corroded by atomic oxygen, and now jostled by man. Scientists will study the satellite to find out just what materials can withstand space exposure. This will help NASA design a long-term space station.
Very excited as I'll get about the condition.
The Columbia crew will spend the next week in space processing medical experiments and observing the Earth, and they're scheduled to land at Edwards Air Force Base on January the 19th. Michelle?
And we have much more news ahead for you, including a court date for Bernhard Goetz.
A subway gunman acting as his own attorney and going after some big money. Also, New York's budget crunch. The mayor and the governor putting their heads together on cutbacks. And a little bit later on, trouble underground puts LaGuardia Airport in a holding pattern. Coming up.
Channel 2 News at 11, sponsored by your Mitsubishi Motors dealers.
Winter celebration from Mitsubishi $1,000 rebate on Eclipse. You can save on award-winning gallant up to $1,500 off. But act now. Time is running out.
Get a $1,000 rebate on Eclipse at your tri-state Mitsubishi Motors dealer today.
A French diplomat. A Chinese opera singer. A story of love and mistaken sexual identity. A story so bizarre it could only be true. Tony Randall in M. Butterfly at the Agino Theatre. For tickets, call 246-0102.
Eastern celebrates Anywhere Fares. Fares to take you anywhere we fly in the USA, only $69 to $199. To cities like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Orlando, West Palm Beach, Daytona Beach, New Orleans. Anywhere in the USA, only $69 to $199 now through May 1st, only on Eastern. Anywhere Fares. Fares that will make you celebrate.
When you're hot, you're hot.
America's hottest trucks are at your Ford dealer's hot holiday clearance. Get huge cashback savings on virtually every Ford truck. Get $1,250 on Bronco 2, $750 on Econoline, $1,000 on Ranger and Big Bronco, $1,000 on Aerostar, or 4.8 financing for 48 months. Plus special clearance prices on all the 89s left in stock. All before you get your best deal. It's your tri-state quality Ford dealer's hot holiday clearance now.
Ford dealers, when you're hot, you're hot.
The man infamous for taking the law into his own hands is doing it once again. Bernhard Goetz was back in court today as his own lawyer in a $50 million civil suit. He admitted to being a little bit nervous, but that didn't stop the man known as the subway vigilante. Goetz faces civil charges filed by one of the 4 youths he shot in a subway 5 years ago. Daryl Caby was left paralyzed. His lawyers say he's also mentally deficient. However, Goetz is hoping to question Caby in court.
Our medical people will examine Daryl Caby to see if he is competent to testify.
Why is it important to you to have Daryl Caby in court?
Daryl Caby does not want to testify because he will have a lot of liability if he does testify.
Goetz has filed a $40 million countersuit against Caby. Tonight, the high cost of crime in New York has forced at least one business chain to leave this city. Just last month, the British retailer Sock Shop International closed its 14 New York stores. Today, officials gave the reason for their move. They say the high crime rate in this area was driving their security costs too high. Company officials say they'll relocate stores to much more secure urban shopping malls.
Mayor David Dinkins took his money troubles on the road to Albany. Dinkins is asking Governor Mario Cuomo to help in solving New York City's huge budget deficit. But as political correspondent Josh Mankiewicz reports, the governor's got financial problems of his own.
So you considered the debt this week given in lieu of money.
With Governor Cuomo scheduled to release his new budget on Tuesday, Mayor Dinkins came to Albany looking for help for New York City. At a photo opportunity before the meeting, Cuomo played the gracious host, joking that he was doing that instead of